All right, I think we're all here. Welcome to the Donald Danforth Plant Science Center. My name is Jim Carrington, and it's an honor to celebrate with all of you today the groundbreaking of our new research building. We're joined by many of the center's 225 scientists and staff. I see a lot of them up here hanging on the rails. I am harking back to an old AC/DC video back from the 1980s, but it's great to share this experience with all of our scientists and staff. We have several members of our board, and we're all meeting here today in what will soon be referred to as Building 1 of 2 buildings on the Danforth Center campus. We have a terrific group in attendance, and I want to spend some time to recognize some of our elected officials and others who are celebrating with us this afternoon. We're honored to have Governor Jay Nixon and County Executive Charlie Dooley with us on stage today. Both are frequent visitors to the center. They are among our most effective champions at the state and regional levels. In fact, we would not be celebrating today without strong support from the governor and from the state through the Missouri Development Finance Board, among many mechanisms that we've seen support. The MDFB awarded $4.5 million in contribution tax credits to enable this new building project. Our leaders at the county were hand-in-hand partners to secure this award. Importantly, these tax credits were used to secure $9 million in private donations from a remarkable supporter. Governor Nixon, County Executive Dooley, thank you for your support, for your partnership, and for standing with us today. We welcome several members of the Missouri General Assembly. First, our State Representative Jill Shoup. Jill actually ended her service with the recently concluded session, and we thank you for the 6 years of service that you gave to the district. We're delighted to have the leadership of the State House of Representatives with us. We welcome Representative Tim Jones, Speaker of the House, and Representative John Deal, Majority Floor Leader. And if you don't mind, I want to take this opportunity to recognize and thank the General Assembly, the governor, for their support of innovation and entrepreneurship in the state. I want to especially recognize Missouri Technology Corporation, or MTC, an important public-private partnership to catalyze innovation in several strategic commercial sectors, including plant science. And since I've got you all here today, just to illustrate what this investment means to us, let me point out that if you go to the MTC website, check out 3 of the 5 most recent news items posted on the site describing MTC portfolio company successes. 3 of the 5 most recent citations of those successes happened right here on the Danforth Center campus or just a stone's throw away at the Helix Center. That's something we're proud of. And we're happy to have Joe Bannister, chairman of MTC, with us today. Representing our congressional delegation from Washington, we have Mary Beth Wolf from Senator Roy Blunt's office, Miriam Stonebraker from Congresswoman Ann Wagner's office, and Lou Abusi from Congressman Lacey Clay's office. Thank you for joining us today. We welcome Creve Coeur Mayor Barry Glantz. Thank you for joining us and especially thanks for working with our team to get us through the pre-construction stage. That means a lot to us. You did an awful lot. And finally, we welcome our good friend. We can't have an event like this without thanking and welcoming our good friend Denny Coleman from St. Louis Economic Partnership. Denny has worked closely with us every step along the way, not just on this project, but on every significant project that's happened since the founding of the Danforth Center. So welcome and thank you, Denny. We're here to celebrate the initiation of the most visible part of a major expansion that we're doing at the Danforth Center. The new building will eventually house 100 additional scientists and staff. That's a 50% increase from where we stand today. But consider this, during the prime life of this new building, over the next 40 years that is, worldwide agriculture is going to need to produce more food than all that agriculture produced in the last 8,000 years combined. This will require dramatic increases in agricultural productivity, both here and in developing countries. What makes this not just a big problem, but one of the grand challenges of our time, is the fact that we need to achieve this daunting task on today's amount of farmland with more efficient use of resources like fresh water and with less energy consumption and lower greenhouse gas emissions. This is, in fact, one of the major grand challenges that this and future generations have to deal with. Expansion will enable the Danforth Center to hire best-in-class scientists and to provide those scientists with best-in-class facilities and advanced technologies. Combined, these will accelerate our work, just to give a few examples, to improve agriculture for food and bioenergy here at home and to improve staple crops in developing countries and regions, to better understand how plants interact with the changing environment, and to use natural diversity to increase agricultural sustainability. In short, our growth puts us in a better position to advance our mission, which is to improve the human condition through plant science. Expansion will also yield more innovative companies like Benson Hill Biosystems that emerge from our laboratories. Expansion will attract more companies, and we'll have more announcements in the weeks and months ahead along these lines. Expansion will help us attract new talent to the region and investment to the region. And with our higher education and outreach partners, higher education partners like the University of Missouri, like Washington University here in St. Louis, this expansion will allow us to train the next generation of students at a much more effective and a much more productive level. These are the reasons we're excited about our growth. And with that, I'm going to turn the podium over to our chairman, John McDonnell, for his comments. John?
Thank you, Jim, and good afternoon, everyone. It's hard to believe that less than 15 years ago, this entire 40-acre site, which the Donald Danforth Plant Science Center in Bridge Park call home, was completely undeveloped. It's hard to believe unless you know Bill Danforth. 17 years ago, Bill had a vision for St. Louis to become the world's leading center for plant science innovation. To many people at that time, that bold vision may have seemed more like a daydream. But those who knew Bill knew that, in fact, it really could happen. For nearly 2 decades, Bill has led the effort to develop plant and life sciences into a strong engine for the growth of the St. Louis economy, with a goal of providing jobs for future generations while providing solutions to major challenges around the world. Since this facility opened in 2001, the Danforth Plant Science Center has been the key driver of the plant portion of the St. Louis's now thriving plant and life science ecosystem. Its outstanding scientists have done breakthrough research into the fundamental mechanisms of plant productivity. But that's not all. The Danforth Plant Science Center is unique in its dedicated focus on translating the science into applications to improve crops and into new products and high-growth companies. Throughout its existence, a focus has been to accelerate entrepreneurial growth in St. Louis. While great progress has been made, profound opportunities and challenges remain in harnessing the power of plants to improve agricultural productivity to create more abundant and nutritious sources of food, fiber, medicine, and sustainable energy. And so today, we mark the next stage of growth for the Danforth Center, and for Bill's vision. This new addition, with state-of-the-art technology and the world-class scientists who Jim Carrington will recruit to fill it, will provide the Danforth Plant Science Center with the resources it needs to accelerate scientific discovery and its application to the crops of the world, as well as encourage and support new company formation and recruitment to the St. Louis region. Each of you here today has played a role in the success of the Donald Danforth Plant Science Center. We should all be pleased and gratified by the progress that is continuing to be made, as exemplified by the groundbreaking for this wonderful new addition, which we are celebrating today. Now it gives me great pleasure to introduce the person whose vision, hard work, and generosity conceived, inaugurated, and grew this center into the world-class institution it is today, improving the human condition through plant science, which will contribute to feeding the hungry, improving human health, preserving and renewing the environment, and enhancing the St. Louis region as a center for plant science. Please join me in welcoming our founding chairman, Bill Danforth. If you would like this higher, I can raise it for you. Would you like that?
Yeah, thank you. Oh, that's great.
Say when.
When? Thank you. Maybe now you can hear me. Thanks, John, very much for the overly generous introduction. I just think that I'm very lucky to be here with all of you and with all of the people who are part of this center. Jim Carrington's visionary leadership has greatly enhanced our center's special contribution to the world, to our state, and to our community. That is making plant science here world-class. Our center intends, as you've heard, to help feed the world, preserve the environment, and importantly, to help build strong science-based economy in our region and in our state. This building furthers the dream of having our community recognized as the #1 center in the world for those serious about plant science and about the commercial development from plant science. So this is an important day for our center, and I believe for our region and state. I certainly hope so. We've taken on a big challenge. Success depends upon Jim Carrington and our wonderful and talented scientists and staff, but they can't do this alone. Success also depends on the climate and the culture around us. Do people collaborate here for worthy goals? It depends on partnerships with financial supporters, collaborators, regional scientists and businesses, and importantly, on our local, county, state, and federal governmental leaders and officials. We're very lucky to be here. We're very lucky to have a supportive environment in which others do collaborate with us unselfishly, and supporters, not only our wonderful donors and supporters, not only donate generously for the good of the region, the state, and the world, but also volunteer untold hours of time and energy to move us forward. We could not be here without this total effort, and that's what I think I'm as proud of as anything. How lucky can we be? I thank you all. I couldn't be more grateful. In one sense, though it seems sort of right, our center should be great for us all. It is fitting, therefore, that it takes us all to build it. As is customary, Jim has named and spoken about the public officials and representatives. I don't often get a chance in public to thank those who have been helpful to us in our government and in the governmental affairs. And so I thought I'd take this opportunity to say a few words. First of all, I'll start with my friend and now Plant Science Board member, Senator Kit Bond, who led the way in modernizing the federal management of agricultural research, something I've cared a lot about. And he is right here with his wife, Linda. And luckily, he has an able successor, current Senator Roy Blunt, who has been carrying on in a very fine fashion the torch with commitment to doing really good things for the country. Congress members Lacey Clay and Ann Wagner have been helpful in this. At the state level, Governor Nixon, who will speak later, has been with us from the start. And others who are here have been very helpful. Representatives Tim Jones and John Deal have been great supporters of research, and that is very important. If our legislature isn't supportive of research, we're in trouble. And so has Jill Shoup, who I've known since her school board days. This building would not be possible without the help of Missouri contributions of tax credit, as Mark Wrighton has said, and we give thanks for that. And I'd just like to mention to the state officials that Bob Miseray of the MDFB is a very helpful guide to how to prepare proposals, and he's been great to work with. Locally, the mayor of Creve Coeur is currently Barry Glantz. Without the support of Creve Coeur, we wouldn't have developed the land the way we have. And Denny Coleman's been mentioned. He is now leader of the merged economic development efforts of St. Louis City and County, has been our partner all along. Last but not least, our next speaker, whom I now introduce, my friend, the executive of St. Louis County, who works for worthy goals about which I care deeply. He's partnered with Mayor Francis Slay to combine the economic development activities of our city and county into a regional whole so that people will no longer be tempted to stealing each other's gems or competing vigorously over new opportunities. He has overseen and figured out how to build an important nearby center for innovative small companies called Helix Center, and he's found the money for it. He's a visionary who sees what we can all do together and encourages us to get at it. The man who is always there, Charlie Dooley.
Let me say good afternoon to you all. I'm extremely happy to be here. To Governor Nixon, to Jim, my former boss, I was going to say old, but he's a young man, John McDonald, and to my good friend, I've always said this, if he's in the house, I'm in the right place, is Dr. Danforth. It's a tremendous opportunity, Dr. Danforth. And to the Speaker of the House, Tim Jones, our future Speaker, John Deal, and my good friend, it's all good, former Senator Bond, it's always good to see you, and your lovely wife, Linda, outstanding. She's a lot better looking than you. That's a good thing. And to all of you, I'm extremely happy to be in. Sam, thank you for all the things that you do. Let me say it with me very briefly. I've said this on many occasions, and I will continue to say it. There is no place on this planet that's more important than the St. Louis metropolitan area. There are more plant scientists here than any place in the world, any place. And some of you may not realize this or not, but the Donald Danforth Plant Science Center is the largest not-for-profit plant resource in the world. Second to none. It's right here in the greater metropolitan area. And that is something to be proud of. We are actually on the cutting edge of feeding the world. That is simply outstanding. And it's happening right here in the St. Louis metropolitan area with great, great partnerships. And we talked about this earlier. Cortex and the Donald Plant Science Center, they're not in competition. They're moving together for the 21st century. It's like the city of St. Louis and St. Louis County Economic Partnership. We're not in competition, but we're in competition with the world, right here in the St. Louis metropolitan area. We have so much to be proud of, but even more importantly, that sometimes we don't think about this. The people in this community that care about this community, the business community, they really, truly support this community. Second to none. There's no place around here with this population, the things that we do for our community. If that's for Proposition P, if it's for Cortex, it's for Donald Plant Science Center, all the things that make us a great metropolitan area. So I'm excited about what we're doing. This is going to be an outstanding facility, 79,000 square feet of space for 100 scientists. Simply outstanding. I can think of a better place for it to be, right here in St. Louis. So on behalf of St. Louis County, please, Jim, keep doing what you're doing. James, I love that name, James. John. And then Dr. Danforth and our governor, we couldn't do these things without those individuals. It does make a difference. And as we move forward, St. Louis is going to be a place of destination because of the plant science. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Charlie. Either I shrunk or this podium got a lot higher in the past 10 minutes. Well, we're thrilled to host our friend, Governor Jay Nixon, at today's celebration. The governor is a very busy person, and it means a lot to us for him to come out. This is not his first time, obviously. We see him quite frequently. In his strategic initiative for economic growth, the governor identified biosciences with plant and agricultural science as a focal point as one of 7 industry clusters targeted for growth and investment in the state of Missouri. Since the initiative was launched in 2010, the St. Louis region has accelerated its ascent as or I should say, the world-leading center in plant science and agricultural innovation. It is with great appreciation for his vision and his support that I welcome Governor Jay Nixon to the podium.
It's about the right size. Thank you, Jim. Good afternoon. It's certainly good to see all these leaders here today. I don't mean to go back in time or anything like that, but I also want to thank Jason Halls, who's here now with Regional Commerce. But as most of you know, through his career, he's been involved in a number of these issues, both at one point as the head of MTC, then as head of the Department of Economic Development. And I appreciate his leadership during that strategic plan. But for his leadership during that process, we might be here today, and I'm glad he's continuing his service here in St. Louis. Obviously, it's a good day. From the very beginning, the highest priority and deepest commitment of a governor is to create jobs for Missourians and promote economic development in our state. If people are working, it's a better place to be, obviously. That's one of the reasons we went about the process of putting together a strategic initiative. We engaged 600 people from throughout the state in all regions of our state, from government, labor, higher education, to develop a blueprint to transform Missouri's economy for the 21st century. As was mentioned before, the initiative identified a number of industries that, because of their potential to create high-quality jobs in the future and our solid base, deserved a special focus, bioscience, a key one of those. We have much to be proud of in Missouri when it comes to both bioscience and sustainable agriculture. Our state is a leader in a wide range of disciplines, such as plant science, animal health, human health, and others. That leadership is due to many people, from researchers making new discoveries in the lab, to entrepreneurs turning those discoveries into new startups, from architects designing cutting-edge science buildings to the builders who turn those visions into reality. So it's especially fitting that many of those folks are represented here in this room today. Because of their hard work, we have an outstanding bioscience foundation in Missouri. Put in numbers in it, we're the home to nearly 3,500 bioscience companies, world-class research institutions, and a highly skilled workforce. The Danforth Plant Center has long been the strong anchor of the life science innovation of our state. The bioscience research underway here will be a game changer in tackling the toughest challenges facing mankind: feeding a hungry planet, finding new sources of energy that don't compromise national security or the environment, and improving productivity and sustainability for agriculture throughout the world. And as these breakouts and breakthroughs move out of the lab and into the marketplace, the commercialization in this model will generate massive new opportunities for job creation and value adding. They also hold the promise of making our state a world leader in innovation, designing, manufacturing, and exporting new products and systems on the frontiers of bioscience. And oh, by the way, over not one, but the last 2 years, Missouri #1 in the country in technology job growth because of organizations just like this, commitments and generosity just like we're dealing with today. As was said before, this new facility will be the home to an additional 100 scientists, and with those scientists will be families, buying new homes, creating new memories, and putting down roots here in St. Louis. They'll shop in our grocery stores, their kids will fill our classrooms, they'll root for the Cardinals and the Blues and the Rams and Mizzou, and they'll quickly see why St. Louis is consistently ranked as one of the best cities and best regions to live, work, and raise a family. Folks, to say this project is a big deal is a massive understatement. This project is transformative, and my administration was glad to play the small role we did in working with an incredible team. Now, just as the Donald Danforth Plant Center builds its new addition, we're all building for a brighter and more prosperous future for our state. A future in which every Missouri student goes to a good school that prepares them to compete for a good job in the global economy. A future in which big dreams are made and next-generation technologies are developed. A future where more high-tech companies have St. Louis, Missouri on their business cards, and where the #1 city for technology growth in America becomes the #1 city for jobs in the world. I want to congratulate the leadership here at the Danforth Center for their tremendous growth and forward-looking vision, and the researchers here who demonstrate each and every day how human capital is Missouri's most precious resource. And just as I've done from day one, I will continue to reach across the aisle, to work together, to bring as much synergy as we can to make sure Missouri's growing bioscience industry lives up to the high vision of Dr. Danforth and others who, in that vision, so generously gave not only of their time, energy, and resources, but most importantly of their broader vision of what we can do to be the best in the world. Thank you, and God bless.
I feel like I can breathe now. Well, thank you, Governor Nixon. When we embarked on initial planning for a new building, we sought an architectural team that could design a best-in-class research facility. That goes without saying. But it's worth pointing out, we also sought a team that understood and embraced our mission and that could deliver a design that promoted discovery, community, and impact. That's what we're all about. We found that team in Christner, right here in town, and their partners at Flat Architects out of Madison, Wisconsin. Several of the team is here today in the back row. They can't go without being mentioned. I especially want to recognize and thank Jeff Ryan, our lead architectural designer from Christner, for bringing our vision to life through inspired, dedicated work over the past 14 months. I also thank John Reeve, managing principal, president, and CEO at Christner, for taking absolutely a personal interest in this project. We noticed that. We thank Laurel Harrington for developing an amazing plan to transform our landscape, Grace for interior, the entire team. And I would like the entire Christner team to stand up and take a bow. We're grateful to the hard work of Brad and Todd Hornberg at Landmark Contract Management. We've been working closely with Brad and Todd since day one on this project. It's their job to ensure that this project stays on schedule, on budget, on time. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Todd. We've benefited tremendously from the input of our new building advisory committee, which helped select the design team, advise on sustainability issues. They helped us select McCarthy as the construction manager for this project, and to navigate a wide range of design issues and other issues. I want to thank each member of the committee for their service. They are from the St. Louis community, Bill Carson, John Kemper, and Dick Roloff, from our board of directors, Phil Needleman and Mary Stillman, and from our center scientists, Todd Mockler, the Jerry and Robert Virgil Distinguished Investigator. Thank you. And of course, we wouldn't be here today without our committed donors, as Dr. Danforth pointed out, who, along with contribution tax credits from the MDFB, provided the funds for the new building. This is an entirely private project that was catalyzed by that MDFD tax credit, contribution tax credits. Our thanks go to all those financial contributors who share our vision to make a positive impact in the region, the state, the nation, and the world. Now, we're drawing to the end here, something of a crescendo. I would like to call 6 people to take their place in front of this large black curtained-off thing on my left. County Executive Dooley and John McDonnell, please take your position on the far side. Tony Kuchan, our Vice President for Research and representing all of our scientists, and Sam Fiorello, our Chief Operating Officer and President of Bridgepark, please take your position in the middle. And Governor Nixon and Dr. Danforth, if you would please man the left panel here. What we have is a wonderful rendering of the new building. We're going to unveil it in sections. And as I call your section off, please be prepared to grab your piece of the curtain and pull. So we'll start. Section 1, Charlie and John, please unveil. Section 2, Tony and Sam. Section 3, Governor Nixon and Dr. Danforth. Present to you Building 2 at the Donald Danforth Plant Science Center. It's an absolutely spectacular work that we're very proud to be associated with. Again, I'll underscore the tremendous talent and hard work from our design teams, particularly Christner and Flad, but also all of the individuals associated with the Danforth Center, our board, and the community who contributed to this project. Thank you so much for celebrating this important milestone with us. I invite you all to join us on in the front lobby. If you want to go outside and see the construction site, you'll battle the wind, but you'll be able to see some bulldozers and claws out there moving some dirt. Please join us for a reception, and thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Governor. We'll see you soon, too. More coming.